Employers in Canada spend an estimated $5 billion a year on drug coverage for their employees, yet private plans are notoriously inefficient and they often cover higher-priced drugs that are not necessarily better for the consumer's health, explains Alan Cassels.
An efficient drug plan would pay for drugs that have high value, are safe, and are good value in terms of the cost. Private drug plans seemingly pay for everything. So even drugs which are newer but not more effective come to the market, they're often always more expensive and covered automatically. So doing so makes these drug plans more inefficient, which means you're getting a lot fewer treatments for your dollar.
So a drug plan that is not efficient means a bigger bill for the employer and more profit for the insurer. This is why employers who want to have a competitive plan must better include their employees in the negotiating process with insurers. Together, they could cut wasteful spending.
The employees, they should be asking for an efficient one which pays high-value treatments and in making sure that drugs of high value are going to be covered and drugs of lower value are more restrictive. And that's a rational thing to do. I mean, really the incentive is for the employee and the employer to get together and to talk to the insurer. And I think that until the employees and the employers get together, talk to the insurer, they're not going to be able to, really maximize what they're getting out of these drug plans.
Every province in Canada has some level of coverage for drugs, but calls for a national pharmacare program are growing. Such a system would be more efficient, restrict the coverage of drugs that don't have value for their cost, and it would drive the price of drugs down, says Alan Cassels.
We really need to work towards a national program because it doesn't make sense for all of these provinces to be going and doing things on their own. You see that in other countries like New Zealand or Australia where they have national programs and they're really able to bargain quite heavily because they have such buying power. Canada's market is really fragmented and every province has to do the same sort of negotiations with pharmaceutical manufacturers. So I think the bigger the national program we have, the more buying power and hence the more ability they would have to bargain for better prices.
If consumers think it is time to reform drug coverage, politicians still need a little more convincing.
The argument is going to be it's too expensive. A national program could be expensive, but compared to what we're doing now, it could be actually quite a bit cheaper. You would really need some national leadership. Though there might be some desire for it, I don't think that's sort of risen to the top of sort of political priorities amongst the various parties.
For Evidence Network, I'm Mélanie Meloche-Holubowski.